dirt, grass, animals, how we're always just observing this realm. We're not actually a part of this realm. And an interesting phenomenon that happens with my generation, and probably any generation that is on this planet currently. Oh, is the sun there? Yeah. We live life and we say, wow, this reminds me of a movie. Or, this reminds me of a video game. This reminds me of a cartoon. It's because we were raised on that. We were raised on media, on entertainment. But we saw it only as being entertainment. We didn't see it as being education in the moment. We're kind of just sat down and just vibed out to an experience and got lost in it and learned all about the archetypes and the patterns and the lifestyles of a human being. And in some ways, yeah, it was cultural programming, of course, because we were all introduced to the same sort of stuff, whatever was popular, whatever our parents were into. Same sort of stuff, of course not always the same exactly, but sort. And we just observed it without any any judgments. And the reason why we look at life, and those movies, those video games, those cartoons, we're basing our life off of that because that's what we experienced prior. But that is based off of the human life that we were experiencing. But this gets into the cyber realm and how, and I see media and entertainment being another realm that we were in before this one. Maybe. Not completely, because it's been like, this is just one form of storytelling. It's been like this throughout always, supposedly. Telling stories around the fire. Whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is that you experienced when you were young, but you experienced something, and it had to do with observing, with learning rights and learning wrongs, and it could have been anything. It could have been anything, but it was this. And now here you are. Now here you are observing this, but you're judging it. You're judging it, but is that what observing is? Is observing judging? Do you have to judge everything as you observe? Yeah, if you've had an experience, you can't help but judge, right? You can't help but judge the experience if you've experienced. And that's what knowledge is. Knowledge is kind of like judgment. It's, yeah, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of step away from all that. Step away from the knowledge. And it may be knowledge for you to step away from it, but it's just a concept that you're working on. It's all working with language, with concepts. And you can, I know. That's all the knowing is. It's just knowing. Yeah, it's just, of course, I just defined a word with a word, but it's a feeling. It's a word because we gave the words feelings. And you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So people just vibe out. Like, the past couple days, and I've, or I mean, I've just always been doing that, and they're just vibing out to whatever's going on, right? Not really resisting it, not really trying to control it. Just saying, even if they are freaking out, upset, and they're not resisting it, even if they're resisting those emotions, they're not resisting the emotions. Well, yeah, it's like sometimes they are. They're just, no matter what, they're vibing out. Like all is vibe, all is vibe. And you vibed out as a child, and you learn, and you learn, and you learn. And you escape those judgments you learned as a child. See, I don't really uh, media, but it's just like if you read a bunch of books, you can be really thinking about the information that you learned in the book. Because you learned it. If you did nothing, if you were raised by orangutan, if you're thinking about the lessons you learned, that's what you think about our experience. This tree right here, every morning I look at this tree, and it looks like a person sticking out of the ground. This is just the experience, and in this experience, this is the fun part, can be transcended by observing without judgment. It's hard to do because it seems itself to be judgment, to be judgment just by acting upon it, but you can act without thought. You can. It's possible. And see it for what it is outside of your own judgment. And then programming, brainwashing, any of that, it doesn't even seem problematic. It's just nature's way of treating you. And hey, as a soul, if we want to use those sort of terminologies, as a soul, you chose all that. All of that, all of the circumstances that were put upon you, all the information that you came across, You came across for a reason, just so you can be right here, right now, and knowing exactly what you need to know to get you to the next point. Infinite points in the infinite depths of infinity. I'm going to stop streaming to make sure I covered everything. I'll never cover everything. I will cover everything. Maybe that should be the will to power. The goal. To cover everything. Cover everything with myself. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the music and advertisements. How we've always just vibed out listening to advertisements. And they're in there. They're ingrained. Like, we were educated with advertisements and music. Just, that's why I don't know if I would want to be famous, like a famous musician. Because it's like, I'm forcing myself onto people. Guess that's what I'm doing no matter what. Guess there's nothing wrong with that. See? That's what's going on. All these judgments are being collapsing. And I am thinking outside of the box. I don't have to be a certain way. There's no certain way to be. Look at the ant. Look at the ant that's miles away from any anthill. Is it lost? Or is it just trying to chill? You can be anything. And you know, I could just be saying this because I was culturally programmed by the cartoons telling me I can be whatever I want. Maybe so. Maybe they knew what they were talking about. Maybe nothing is bad. Nothing is bad. Everything is good. We're the ones that came up with things being bad and good. So we can define them however. And I choose to define it as being good. Because of course good is better. That's what good is. These silly words. Silly words. Anyways, that's the message. Keep it going. Do your thing. Do your thing, because that's what humans do, is they do their thing. What's up, man? They do their thing, and you don't have to feel bad about doing your thing just because your thing is different from what other people are doing. Of course their vibes will affect you, but hey, you've got a vibe too. You've got a vibe too, and your vibe is powerful. All these vibes are powerful. And they're up for your manipulation. They're up for you can move them around. Do whatever you want with these vibes. Because ultimately, you're just sitting back and observing the vibes. You are just sitting back, observing you. Observing yourself. Observing everything else. Perspectives. There's infinite perspectives. The perspectives are infinite. The points. Infinite points. See, and I don't have to be organized or structured in the way I express. Because it's a non-linear way of learning, of self-learning, of self-growing. It's cool because everything is circular. This graph that I talk about with the points, it's not one of those 4-quadrant graphs, all right? It's a circular graph. A circular graph. Let that blow your mind. Now, see? Where did it even go? Where did it even go? Oh yeah, yeah. So, everything is a perspective. The the realm that you're in is your realm. It's your mind. And you can see from any point. And it's all the imagination. That's a very deep thing to grasp because we were trained, we were learned that the imagination wasn't something. Wait, were we? Were we? Now that I'm thinking back, maybe everything that I think and know and believe is based upon what I learned. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because I could have learned anything, but this is what I needed to learn. Alright? And these cartoons knew what they were talking about. These cartoons that glorified imagination. What does that want? See? Who knows? But it got ingrained into my subconscious mind. That imagination is everything. And now here I am, learning that all is mine. Oh my, there's a spider right there. Look at that spider. My camera quality isn't the best, or is it? It's the best for you to see the spider right now, right here. So cool. See, this is an infinite perspective of infinity. That's just looking out, doing its thing. See, spiders just do their thing. Spiders just do their thing. Just like you humans. You humans just do their thing. Me, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my vibe. I'm just doing my imagination. No matter what, you're just doing your imagination. But do you know that what you're doing is your imagination? Or do you think you are stuck here? Do you think you're a victim of circumstance? Or do you know that the circumstance is also just your imagination? And the imagination, so behind that building, I look behind that building. And I can imagine what's behind that building. Because I've experienced it before. Because my imagination has experienced it before. That spider is still way over there. I've experienced it before. We're not just a human, alright? We are the spider. We are the plants. We are all of this. Everything. We are the sun. We are a set of words, a language that we have heard over and over. Of humans conceptualizing. That's what this is. It's humans conceptualizing. their imagination, their perceptions. It's a human perception. But maybe this human perception, this imagination, is all that there is. Right? Because all these other beings, all these other entities are parts of our imagination. And this imagination is the infinite circle graph with infinite perspectives within this imagination. And so you're not this body, you're not the humans that are conceptualizing within the body, because the humans have conceptualized birds, bees, trees, flowers, grass, everything in the garden. Everything in the garden. The garden of the mind. And so you can see from any of these perspectives. You can be a spider. You can be anything in this realm. And this is an infinite realm. You are in an infinite realm. This is the greatest message I've ever produced. But this is the message I'm here to produce. All of the circles have circled around into this moment of me producing this message. That this imagination graph, this sphere, has infinite perspectives. Because each perspective has its own imagination, a fractal. And that imagination has entities within it that have their own imagination, that have their own imagination, that have their own imagination. And it goes beyond this. It goes beyond all the physicality. It goes into other realms. You can access other realms through this realm, through this perspective that's in this mind, this head, this dome, this globe. That's what the globe is. It's a metaphor. It's all a metaphor. It's all an allegory. It's all a symbol. And the symbols, there's nothing wrong with the symbols. The symbols are technology. This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday, and it was blowing my mind. It's a new technology that we're using to expand. I'm an advocate. Of course, I question, I doubt sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the day, it's the beginning of the day. It's like 7 in the morning right now. No, it's like 9. Who cares? Who cares? I'm not on that schedule. It's technology. It's a new technology. It's a new technology. If you want to take into account all of history, we used to speak psychically, and now we speak like this. Because the feelings, the giving feelings into other people, we're still doing that, of course. But now we have these symbols that we have attached feelings onto. And those can be anything. We made those symbols. And the symbols are a technology that I'm a test subject for. Because I was brought into this world, and they were just given to me. I learned about the technology. And now here I am. But like I said, it's what needed to happen. This technology is a part of me. Just like cars. Just like cars are like exoskeletons. If some other race were to come down here, some other race in the infinite dimensions of infinity, some other perspective. See, this right here, this is imagination. This is a perspective somewhere off, way out in the cosmos. To come here, see, now I can close my eyes and I can be that observer, observing me. And I can see that they would see me in the car and they would think that the car was the exoskeleton, if they had any concept of exoskeleton. By the way, I can't believe I never started drawing on my clothes before. I probably have. Yeah, so let's get along here. That was some in-depth knowledge experience. That was some in-depth experience I just dropped on you. Thanks for sticking around.